Hello everyone, welcome to my channel. This is Karuna, teaching the course Computer Architecture and Organization. Third unit contains the following topics: register transfers, performing an arithmetic and logic operations. In previous video, we have discussed about how the data transfer takes place between the registers as well as between register and ALU. And also we have discussed about how the processor performs arithmetic operations in previous video. Okay, in this video we will concentrate on how processor fetches the word from the memory, and also we will discuss about what are the complete instruction sequence required to execute one instruction, that is execution of complete instruction. To execute this instruction, control signals are required. In later classes, we will discuss how to generate that control signals with the help of hardware control and microprogram. Okay, we will see in this hardware control what are the hardware circuits are required to generate control signals, and organization of microprogram required to execute macro instruction. So, let us move on to the next slide, that is fetching a word from memory. Here word nothing but either instructional code or data. Okay, let us see how processor fetches the word from the memory. Here let us consider example move R1 comma R2. Here brackets are placed around the R1. Okay, brackets are placed around the R1, that indicates memory location. Okay, so the address is stored in R1. At that address the data is to be transferred to R2 register. So this is source, this is destination. Okay, now to perform this operation, let us see how the control signals are used, and also we will see how the data read by the processor from the memory. Okay, so here this is the diagram for connection and control signals for register MDR. Okay, operational concept we have discussed in earlier video. In that case, we have discussed about how the data transfer takes place between ALU and memory through the registers. Okay, so in this case also we will discuss how processor reads the data from the memory. Okay, so for example, here I am taking, for example, R1 is having 2000 address. Okay, so coming to the memory location 2000. Okay, so at the 2000 here R2 is the register. Okay, R1, R2 are the processor registers. Okay, now here R1 contains the address. Okay, at that address whatever the data is stored in memory location, that data is to be transferred to R2. That is the aim of that instruction, move R1 comma R2. Okay, so here to perform this operation, here this is external bus and this is internal processor bus. Okay, now let us take a block diagram of processor and memory. Okay, so this is processor and this is memory. Okay, so processor, memory is external part of the processor. Okay, so initially processor sends the address. What is that address? R1 is having 2000 address. Okay, so processor sends the address to the memory through address bus. okay, and then simultaneously processor issues read signal. Processor issues read signal to the memory, and then processor enter into waiting mode for collecting the data. Okay. So, here processor waits for acknowledgement from memory location, that is memory function completion control signal. Okay. Wait for memory function completion control signal. Okay. Whenever memory places the data available at 2000 address on the data bus, okay, then memory issues memory function complete signal to the processor. Whenever processor receives the memory function control, then it collects the data on the data bus. Okay. So, data will be transferred from this bus to the MDR register of the processor, then processor collects the data from the MDR register. Okay. So, likewise these are the control signals are transferred between the processor and memory. Okay. First processor sends the address and then read signal to the memory for reading the data from the memory, and then wait for the data. Okay. So, whenever memory places the data on the data bus, then memory issues the memory function complete signal to the processor. After receiving this memory function completion signal, processor collects the data on the data bus through MDR register. Okay. Likewise, the read operation takes place between processor and memory. Now, let us see here these are the sequence of actions required to perform read the data from memory and transfer that data to the destination register R2. Okay. Now, let us see. Initially, processor sends the address to the MAR register. Okay. So, this MAR register will be activated by the control signal, that is MAR in. Okay. So, whenever MAR in is equal to 1, then the address, whatever the address sent by the processor, that will be loaded into MAR register. Then MAR output will be connected to the address bus of the memory. Okay. What we have discussed earlier, at 2000 address the data is available. Okay. So, that 2000 will be loaded in MAR register. At that address the data will be placed on the external bus. This bus is connected to the memory, that is what this is external bus, this is known as external bus. Okay. This bus is connected between processor and MDR registers. Okay. That is what this is known as internal processor bus. Okay. This bus connects the registers and external memory, that is what this is known as external bus. Okay. So, whatever the data will be transferred on the data lines of the memory, okay, then that will be loaded into MDR register by enabling MDR in E. Okay. So, first R1 out. What is the content of R1? I told you R1 is having 2000. Okay. So, for example, here we are taking R1 register having switch. Okay. So, this is R1 out control signal. Okay. So, whatever the address available in the R1, okay, that will be transferred to the MER register by making R1 out is equal to 1 and MAR in is equal to 1. That is what here we are mentioning, R1 out and MAR in control signals, and then processor issues immediately read signal to the memory. Okay. So, these are the actions are performed in one step. Okay. Any instruction requires sequence of actions. Okay. So, in this is the first action which contains the control signals R1 out, MAR in and read signal. Okay. Next, at that address memory place the data on the external bus. Okay. That data will be transferred to the MDR, okay, by enabling MDR in E external equal to 1. So, here after issuing the read signal, processor enters into waiting mode for memory function complete control signal which is coming from memory. Then whenever the data at that address is placed on the data bus, then memory issue memory function control signal to the processor. Okay. Then at the time the data is placed from data bus to the MDR register. Okay. Now, this data is to be transferred to which register? R2 register. Okay. So, here for example, this is R2 register, okay, which is having switch controlled with the help of R2 in, because destination register is R2. Okay, that is what here control signal is R2 in, okay, which is connected to the internal processor bus. Okay. Now, whatever the data is fetched from the memory location is available in MDR register. Okay. So, that should be transferred to internal processor bus by enabling MDR out is equal to 1. Okay. That is what here we are using control signal MDR out. Okay. Later that data will be transferred to the R2 register, okay, by making R2 in, okay, by making R2 in signal is equal to 1. Okay. Likewise, the data transfers takes place between memory and processor, or we can say this is the read operation. Okay. Processor read the data from the memory location pointed by R1 register and then transferred to the destination register R2. So, these are the steps required to perform this instruction, move instruction. Okay. Initially R1 out, MAR in and read signal issued by the processor, then processor enter into the waiting mode for receiving the memory function complete control signal from the memory. Whenever memory place the data on the data bus, memory sends the memory function control signal to the processor, then processor ready to receive the data from the MDR register. Okay. So, processor collects the data from MDR register by making MDR out is equal to 1 and R2 in is equal to 1. Here R2 is the processor register. Okay. So, processor gets the data to its register R2. Okay. Likewise, data transfers takes place and also we will see the steps required. So, R1 having the address, okay, that address will be transferred to the MER register, then processor issues the read operation and then wait for memory function complete control signal from the memory. Okay, after getting this MFC signal from the memory, then processor ready to receive the data, okay, from the MDR register. Okay, likewise these are the steps required to read the data from memory location, and also we will see how processor perform read operation with the help of timing diagrams. Okay. So, here 3 steps sequence of actions are required to perform this move instruction. Okay. So, step 1, step 2, step 3. Okay, here the data is to be read from the memory. That's what this signal is, control signal, MR, memory read signal. Okay, that is a high during the clock pulses 1, 2, 3. Okay, at the same time MDR in external also high. Okay, always these two timing signals are same during step 2. Okay, in step 2 MDR in E is available. That's what here this is high during second stage. Okay, now here MAR in processor loads the address of the data in MAR register by enabling MAR in is high. Okay, this is always high. Okay, and then here before that processor placed the address on the address bus. Okay, this address enters into MAR register by making MAR in is equal to 1. Okay, then immediately processor issues read signal. Okay, so read signal is available in the first step. That's what in first step read signal is high. Okay, now after issuing read signal processor enters into waiting mode. Okay, for memory function control signal. Whenever memory places the data, this memory function control indicates the availability of data on the data bus. Whenever memory places the data at the specified address on the data bus, okay, then at that time memory sends the high signal to the processor. Okay, memory function completion signal is high at this timing cycle. Okay, at the time of placing the data on the data bus. Okay, now that data will be transferred to the MDR register. Okay, that data is transferred to the MDR registered from the data bus. Now processor collects the data from MDR register by making MDR out is equal to 1. Okay, third step MDR out comma R2 in equal to 1. So, okay, third step, in third step MDR out, third step MDR out in third step, okay, is high. Okay, some control signals are not showing here. Okay, here R2 in also control signal. Okay, so these are the control signals are required to perform data read operation. Later classes we will see how these control signals are generated by the control unit. Okay, so we will see design of control unit with the hardware and micro program. Likewise, all these operations are performed with the help of clock signals. That's what this is known as timing of a memory read operations. Okay, or we can say memory read cycles. Okay, these are the cycles required to perform read operation by the processor. Likewise, processor fetches the data from the memory. Next, let us see execution of instruction. Okay, here our example is add R3 comma R1. Okay, so for example R3, I told you this brackets indicates the address of the data. Okay, R3 having for example 2000 address. This is address. Okay, so at that 2000 address the data is available 0, 3. Okay, now R1 contains the data 0, 2. Okay, so after getting this data, processor performs addition operation between these two operands. Okay, so after performing this operation, output will be stored in R1 register, because here we are considering R1 is the destination register. Here this is source, this is destination. One important point is that source destination order may vary computer to computer. In some computers mention first add source comma destination. In some other computers, the syntax is destination comma source. This order may change computer to computer. In this case, we are using add source comma destination. Okay. So, this is source, that is destination. Okay. So, after performing the operation, output will be transferred to destination register R1. So, before that, here to perform that operation, first we should know this is program memory and this is data memory. Okay. So, here program memory contains the instruction codes. Okay. Data memory contains the data. Okay. So, first add instruction is having some code. Okay. Suppose this is the instruction code for add instruction. Okay. So, first processor needs to fetch the instruction code. Processor needs to fetch the instruction code from the program memory. Okay. And then processor needs to fetch the data. Here first operand is available in the memory location pointed by R3. Okay. So, here R3, I told you R3 is having 2000 address. At that 2000 address, the data is available. Okay. 0, 3. Okay. But in this case, first processor needs to fetch the instruction code, and then according to our instruction, processor needs to fetch the first operand. Okay. Because the operand is available in the memory location, that is what processor needs to fetch the data from memory location and then perform the addition operation. After getting the data, processor performs the addition operation specified by the instruction. Okay. After performing operation, the output will be stored in R1. Okay. Because R1 is the destination. Okay. Now, let us see how processor performs the execution of the instruction, or we can say what are the complete control signals are required to execute one instruction. Okay. So, our example is add R3 comma R1. I told you R3 contains the address of the data. Okay. To execute any instruction, first processor needs to fetch the instruction from the memory. In this case, processor needs to fetch the instruction first, or we can say processor needs to fetch the instruction code first, and then processor needs to fetch the operand, then perform the operation on that data, and then after performing, the output will be transferred to the destination register. Okay, let us see. To carry out those operations, what are the sequence of actions are required, we will see. Okay. So, now here R3 contains the address. Here add instruction, that instruction address is available in the program counter. Okay. Program counter stores the address of the instruction. Okay. So, processor needs to get the address of the instruction from program counter. Okay. How processor gets address from the program counter? Okay. So, by enabling PC out is equal to 1. Okay. So, here control signal is PC out is equal to 1. Okay. Whenever PC out is equal to 1, then address of the instruction will be placed in internal bus of the processor. Okay. Now, that address will be loaded into MAR register, because MAR register is linked with the memory address bus. Okay. So, that is what that address of the instruction will be transferred to the MAR. Okay. Then MAR output is address lines. Okay. That address lines will be connected to the memory. Okay. Then here before transferring the address to the MAR, here MAR in will be activate. Okay. So, that is what here MAR in is equal to 1. That control signal is required to transfer the data from internal processor bus to the MAR register. Next, immediately processor sends the read signal. So, processor needs to get the instruction code from the memory. That is what processor issues the read signal to the memory. Okay. Now, here mux is used to select either constant 4 or y. Okay. Here after sending the address of the first instruction to the MAR register, program counter will be updated by 4. Why? Because I told you to store 8 bits, one memory location is required. Here our instruction code size is 32-bit data. To store 32-bit data, 4 locations are required. Okay. So, that is what first instruction code address is at PC, then next address of the instruction memory location is PC plus 4. Okay. So, to get the address of the next instruction, PC will be incremented by 4. Okay. That means 4 is to be added to the content of PC. Okay. So, PC content is available in the PC and internal bus. Okay. Now, PC content will be transferred to update the program counter to store the address of the next instruction. 4 will be added to the content of PC. Okay. So, content of PC available in the internal bus, then transferred to the Y. Okay. So, by making Yin is equal to 1. Okay. Here Yin is equal to 1. This is the PC address. Okay. So, now mux selects constant 4. Okay. So, here PC is coming through internal bus through the B and this 4 will be selected, then 4 and content of PC, those will be added. Okay. After adding, for example, PC equal to 2000, adding 4. Okay. The address of the next instruction is 2004. Okay. So, that will be transferred to Z. Now, see again that Z from Z register to the output will be transferred to the PC. Okay. Now, PC having the address of the next instruction. Let us see one by one to perform the updation of PC with the help of control signals. Okay. So, here I told you select 4. Okay. Select 4, then perform add operation, then perform add operation by the ALU. Okay. So, PC content already available in the internal bus, then PC in is coming through B, and then after performing add instruction, then output will be transferred to Z by making Z in is equal to 1, then Z out. This Z is the temporary register. Okay. Here after performing the operation, ALU transfers the output data to the Z register by making Z in is equal to 1. After that, the data will be output data will be transferred to the program counter by making Z out is equal to 1 and PC in is equal to 1. So, likewise here PC in is equal to 1, Z out is equal to 1. Here whenever processor issues the read signal to the memory, then enter into waiting mode for getting memory function complete signal from the memory, addressed memory. Okay. So, likewise here MAR contains the address of the first instruction. That address is transferred to the memory through address lines. At that address, whatever the instruction code is available, that will be transferred to the MDR register. Now, MDR is having the instruction code. Okay. Now, processor receives the instruction code to its register IR, instruction register, by making MDR out is equal to 1. MDR out is equal to 1 and IR in is equal to 1. Here IR in is equal to 1. IR register, every register is having control signals, in and out signals. Okay. So, likewise fetching of instruction code is over. Okay. So, these 3 steps are required to fetch the instruction code, are used to fetch the instruction code. Okay. So, here first initially program counter stores the address of the instruction. Okay. That address will be transferred to the memory through MAR register. Okay. After that, at that address whatever the instruction code is available, memory is present. Okay. So, program memory. Okay. So, at that address whatever the instruction code is available, that will be placed on MDR, then that content will be transferred to the IR register by making MDR out is equal to 1, IR in is equal to 1. Okay. So, this is how processor fetches the instruction code. Simultaneously program counter will be updated by 4 to save the address of the next instruction. Okay. So, PC will be incremented by 4, then again that output will be transferred to the PC, okay, through Z register, through internal bus to the PC. So, now fetching of instruction is over. Now, fetching of the data, because first operand is available in the memory location. Okay. So, before getting the data, processor needs to send the address of the data. What is that address? For example, R3 is equal to R3 is having 3000 address. Okay. So, processor needs to send that 3000 address to the memory first through MAR register. Okay. This is fetching of instruction code. Okay. Now, R3 having, I told you, 3000 address. Here for example, R3 register is available. R3 is the processor register. Okay. R3 out, R3 out is equal to 1. When R3 out is equal to 1, then whatever the address is available in the R3, that will be placed in internal processor bus to MAR register. Okay, that is what here R3 out is equal to 1, then MAR in is equal to 1. Okay. So, MAR in is equal to 1. Okay. So, now the address is transferred to MAR, MAR is connected to the memory. Okay. So, and then processor issues the control signal, read control signal to the memory, and then processor enters into the waiting mode for getting memory function complete control signal. Okay. Now, this address is transferred to the external address bus to the memory. At that address, for example, R3 having 3000 address, at that 3000 address whatever the data is available, that will be placed on the data lines and then transferred to the internal processor bus through MDR register. Okay. So, processor sends the read signal, then another register is R1. So, R1 register out, next operand is available in the R1 register. Okay. So, to get data from R1, R1 out will be enabled. Okay. So, that is what here R1 out will be enabled, content of R1 will be transferred through B input of ALU, and then whatever the data first operand, that will be loaded into ALU through Y register by making Y in is equal to 1. Okay. So, that is what Y in is equal to 1, processor enters into waiting mode. Okay. Now, here the data coming from memory is placed in internal processor bus by making MDR out is equal to 1. Okay. So, that is what MDR out is equal to 1, then select Y, okay, mux selects Y, okay, and perform add operation between these two operands. One operand is coming from R1, another operand coming from memory, okay, and then perform add operation. Okay, so after performing add operation, output will be transferred to Z register temporarily by making Zin is equal to 1. Here Zin is equal to 1. Okay, and then that output will be transferred. Here this is the destination register. Okay, this output will be transferred to the register R1 by making R1 in and Z out. Here Z out is equal to 1. Okay, by making Z out is equal to 1, then processor ends the operation by issuing end signal. Okay, so these are the control signals required to perform add operation, or we can say these are the complete control signals are required to perform the specified instruction add R3 comma R1. Okay, so in this case, so these are the 7 sequence of steps required to perform this instructions. Okay, each steps contains the following control signals. Okay, so these 3 steps are for fetching the instruction code. Okay, so these steps are fetching the data. These steps are required to fetch the data. Okay, and then this step is used to perform the operation. Okay, execution cycle, and then output will be transferred to Zin. Okay, so in first step from PC, processor takes the address of the instruction code, then simultaneously PC will be updated by 4 by selecting this 4 by in add PC in. Okay, then Z out. Okay, so all these actions are required to update the program counter for storing the address of the next instruction. Okay, and then that whatever the instruction code available at that address, that will be loaded into MDR register and then transferred to the instruction register. Okay, and then processor gets the data from memory location pointed by R3. Okay, and gets the data from R1. Okay, and then perform the add operation. Processor gets the data from R3 and R1 performed in step 4 and 5. Okay, so in step 6 processor perform the operation. In step 7 processor sends the output after performing the operation to the destination register. Okay, likewise to execute complete instruction, these are the control signals are required. These are all control signals. Those signals are issued by the control unit. So here processor timing cycles must be coordinated with the addressed memory timing cycles. Okay, in later classes we will see how to generate these control signals with the help of hardwired control and microprogram organization. Okay, let us see branch instruction. This is the program contains the set of instructions. Okay, so PC having the first instruction address. After fetching this first instruction PC will be updated by 4. Okay, to get the next instruction. This is PC plus 4. Okay, so likewise instructions are executing in sequence manner. If any branch instruction present, okay, so branch instruction present, then processor needs to jump to the specified location and executes that program. Okay, so here we can say in this case this is main program, this is sub program. Okay, so branch to specified location. Okay, at that location the sub program may resides. Okay, so likewise branch operation takes place. Okay, so here for example this is PC, the address of the next instruction of the branch is PC plus 4. Okay, so here this is known as target address. Okay, so for example this is main program main program and this is subprogram. Okay. Now, here branch instruction is available at 2000 address. Okay. Branch to some specified address, that is 2050. Okay. So, this is the 2050. Okay. So, branch to the specified address, this is known as target address. Okay. For example, this is 2000 available in PC, the address of the next instruction of the branch is 2004. Okay. Now, this is the target address. Okay. So, the difference between target address and the address of the next instruction is 00, means 2050 and 2004. 64. Okay. This is nothing but 0046. This is known as offset address. Okay. So, offset address nothing but the difference between the target address and the address of the next instruction of branch instruction. Okay. This is very important point to note. Okay. Now, here branch may be conditional or unconditional. Here whenever branch occurs, simply it will jump to the specified address and execute that subprogram. Okay. This is unconditional branch. Okay. Conditional branch also present. Okay. Based on the previous program output. Okay. If the output of this previous program before branch instruction, so for example negative, okay, then if the negative, then branch, otherwise execute the next instruction. Likewise, processor jump to the specified location based on the condition. Okay. So, to execute like this kind of programs, we need to have some control signals. Let us see what are the control signals required to perform branch instruction also. Here execution of branch instruction, we already discussed about whatever the instruction that will be fetched from the memory location. First 3 steps are same for all the programs. Okay. Programs may be list of instructions are in sequence manner or program may having branch instruction. Okay. Anyway, first processor needs to fetch the instruction. To fetch the instruction, these steps are required. Okay. 1, 2, 3. Fetching the instruction code. Okay. So, in which here PC will be updated by selecting 4. Okay. 4 will be added to the content of PC. Then after adding that PC content, enter into the PC. Okay. Now, here after getting the first instruction code, branch, this is the program contains branch instruction. So, in branch instruction case, in this instruction it may contain either target address or offset address. Okay. So, here offset address is present. Okay. So, that offset, what is that offset address? I told you the difference between target address and the address of the next instruction of the branch. Okay. If the offset address is specified in the branch instruction, that offset will be added to the address of the next branch instruction, then get the target address. Okay. At that address, processor performs the subprogram. Okay. Likewise, here offset address, to mention offset address, the control signal is used. Okay. So, this offset address will be added to the program counter. Okay. So, here already program counter available in this internal bus, and then select 4. Okay. Select 4. Okay. So, this PC plus 4, PC plus 4 will be added. Okay. So, simultaneously here already PC is available, 4 is available, then after adding this content again that updated PC content will be stored in PC register. Okay, now that offset address will be added to this PC plus 4, okay, to get the target address. Likewise, these control signals are used to add the offset address to the PC plus 4 to get the target address. Okay, so this is unconditional branch. Okay, if we go for conditional branch, okay, here conditional flag n equal to 0. In this case, if n equal to 1, that means the output is negative. Okay, n equal to 0, then output is positive. If n equal to negative, then this offset address will be added to the PC plus 4. Otherwise, n equal to 0, then end the process. Likewise, branch instruction performs. Okay, this is unconditional, this is conditional. Okay, in case of unconditional, to get the target address, the PC plus 4 will be added to the offset address. Okay, then processor gets the target address. Likewise, branch instruction performed. Summary. So, till now we have seen how the processor fetches the instruction code or data from the memory, and how the processor performed the operation on the data specified by the instruction, and then and also we have seen after performing the operation, processor sends the data to the destination register, and also we have seen what are the control signals are required to perform any instruction by the processor. Generation of these control signals can be implemented with the help of two ways. Those are hardwired control and microprogram organization. In next video, we will concentrate on that topic. Okay, coming to the questionnaire slide. What are the sequence of actions required to perform an instruction move R1 comma R2, and what is mean by offset address? And third question is, what is the indication of memory function complete control signal? Okay, so you please all of you answer all these questions and put it in comment box. Thank you. We will meet in next video.